Okay. We're going to start in 1 minute. George will give people a chance to get here.
Sure.
Oh, someone's
Emma,
already
join.
Yeah.
Jazz, do you mind letting people in because you are an admin too?
Yeah.
Thank
Will
you,
do.
sir. So if everyone can just put themselves on mute, I'm going to introduce George in less than 1 minute. And we'll get yourselves comfortable to enjoy. Hi, Emma.
Hi.
Hey.
Emma, hi. We know Emma. Emma is one of us.
Ah, good. Great. Hi. It's 1 minute past. For the sake of everyone's time, we're gonna make a start. I'm gonna press record. 3, 2, 1, action. We're on. We're live. Okay, so I've known George around 2 years, and I'd say he's saved my life. You are the most knowledgeable personal trainer I've ever had the pleasure of working with.
Oh,
I'm not too sure what he's going to talk about today, but he truly is a master of muscle, motivation, he's just a wonderful human being. So I'm going to stay quiet and hand over to George. This recording, you will be sent the recording. Everyone, please put yourselves on mute and feel free to make a comment in the chat section. George, are you ready?
I am, sir. Thank
All
you.
right, I'm really looking forward to this. Over to you.
Right then. So, I think just a little bit of an introduction. So I'm George, and I'm from this fitness place called Pansanity, and we are based in North London Business Park, which is kind of in the middle of Arnos Grove Station and New Southgate Station. And you can find us in the middle of that. So basically, we are kind of this hidden gem that when you find us, hopefully it's a place that you are super happy that you found and that you will stay with us for a very long time, right? Now, that being said, not too much diving into what we do here, but you will be able to know, see, understand what we do through this presentation. So I'll kind of leave that as we continue on. What I will say is that this will be recorded. So if you don't want yourselves on the screen, then just take yourselves off in regards to your cameras. Have your stuff on mute, and there is a chat bot here, the message, so you can do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it. Actually, I can see it, but I won't be able to open it and stuff because I'll be in the zone. And hopefully there will be some knowledge bombs being driven right here. Now, I'm going to be talking about perimenopause and the menopause, right? And then you might say, well, who are you as a man to talk about this? So I have done some studies, research, and what have you for many years, like just ongoing research. And with that, I feel not necessarily an authority, but someone that has that the clientele base that I've got is predominantly women. And with that, they're predominantly women in the ages of the perimenopause, etc., etc. And I am a middle-aged man who has got relationships with others that are going through the perimenopause and the menopause. So with that, I have to know my stuff. And I'm hoping that because I know my stuff, you'll be able to relate to that and think, he is someone that I can vibe with. And hopefully you will appreciate what I'm going to give you today, and you can go forth. At least you have a little bit more knowledge than you would have walking into this Zoom meeting. So those that are on the live, I appreciate you. And those that will get the recording, I appreciate you as well. And I will share my screen. So if you don't mind, if I share it, Gary, just let me know if you lot can see it, all right? So I'm sharing it now. Can you lot see it?
Jules, that's perfect. We can see it. Power through, perimenopause, strength training. Yeah. Thank you,
Right
Carl,
then.
for your thumbs up.
Right then. So just to let you know as well, as I go through this, we will have a special guest. And that guest is right here as we speak, the lovely Maria. And she will talk a little bit about her experience. And don't worry, Maria, I will guide you through whatever you got, however you want to be, what's the word that I'm looking for? Connecting with us here. All right. So Power through menopause, right? Strength training for women over 40. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be over 40, but that's kind of the target that we're looking for here. Now, welcome. And here's what we'll cover. Right. So, just to make it clear, I'm going to be reading the text that I have created and then expanding on it at the same time. So, we hope you know that we know what you know and keep you reassured that we have got you. All right. Which is a little bit about what I was saying previously. Like, we know our stuff, and hopefully you will be able to relate to our stuff. We are going to talk about how you can build your metabolic engine, and I will explain exactly what these words mean. We will master key movements, and we will bust some myths right here. And then we will go into some deeper analyzation of how to fuel your body and not just your workout. We will have guest speakers. So Maria will be, we've got another couple as well, but I think because I'm very long form, we're going to run out of time. So if anyone wants to like say their piece and want to have questions, Q&A, we're going to do that after anyway. Okay. But do send your message in the chat, and then I'll be stopped and said, right, we have got a question and we can't go no forward until you answer this question, that kind of thing. But if they can be waited until later, then that'd be great. Then after all of that, I have got the key to the unlock, which is basically an exclusive, what we call core collective offer. Right. And that is basically the small group training that we offer you here, because there's no point in me offering you something and telling you, right, here are the tools, and then go away and just like work with them. It's about, here are the tools. And if you come to us, we will show you how they work, and you will have them for longevity, for a lifetime, with a lifestyle that is going to be predicated on your belief to stay on this earth as long and as healthy as possible, as you can serve yourself, but more importantly, serve others, which you are all doing as we speak. So, it always had to be like that, didn't it? It always had to be like that. Right. So, I'm going to do this. Forgive me. It's coming. Right. Here we go. Right then. So, a double check. Can you all see this? A double check. I'm assuming yes. Okay, you can. All right, lovely. Right then. So what's your challenge? What's your number one challenge right now? Now in the chat, you can put down, like, we'll say weight gain is number one, fatigue is number two, mood change is number three, the four is bone health, and the fifth one is confidence. Now that being said, it might be all five. Who knows? So anyway, if you don't mind, what are your challenges? What are your number one challenges right now? All five. Nice one, Maria. Thank you. As the guest speaker, thank you. Right then. So those that are going to be on the recorded, then you're obviously we're going to interact that way, right? Okay. So you have got your number one challenge. What I'm hoping to do now is to address some of it. Okay. And here we go. Let's tackle, unpack, and explore weight gain. So weight gain, build. So let's say, what's the problem? I've got weight gain. Right, what do I do about it? Build lean muscle with strength training. Muscle improves metabolic health. Now, that is a key couple of words there that I'm going to go into very, very soon. Fatigue. So if you're knackered, prioritize protein, which I'll go into, and balance your nutrition with consistent sleep and recovery. So basically, those in a simple format, as in, right, I am now knackered. What do I do? And I know that it seems kind of binary, but for the purpose of this Zoom and the purpose of our timings, you don't have 5 hours for me to explain. So I'm going to just bite-sized chunks. Mood changes. What can help with that? Strength sessions release endorphins and all kinds of other hormones, stabilizing blood sugar that helps mood. So, as you can see, let's continue to tackle, expand, unpack, and explore. Right, bone health. What can help with bone health? Lifting weights, increasing bone density, and reduces the fracture risk. Confidence. What can help with confidence? Training, competence, and community support, stronger mind and body. All of these, if you plant the seed right now into protein, bone health, community, support, if you just plant the seed, what this presentation is going to do is start to nurture that seed, so that by the end of this, you will have a brain full of beautiful forestry for you to explore and find out where the lakes are, where the beautiful scenery is, and how you can navigate your journey towards always keeping in that space. So, as I move on, you may be thinking, or you may not be, but I'm just going to put it into your head as in another seed. What is metabolic health? Because we are always branded with like word bite size, like no, like sound bites, and provocated words. Like what do they mean? Now, metabolic is just the simple word of saying changeable. It comes from the Greek word metaboliki, which means changing. Okay, so I'm Greek, Cypriot. Now, how well does your body process an energy from food? So this is how we can gauge how metabolic health can really help us, right? Or how we can help our metabolic health, sorry. Defined by stable blood sugar, healthy cholesterol, and blood pressure. Involves efficient energy storage and use with balanced hormones. Good metabolic health equals resilience against diabetes type 2, and heart disease. Strong muscles and regular movement protect and improve metabolic health. So every single slide that I have got is linked to the next slide. And then on top of that, at the end of it, will be that forestry of tranquil. Now, let's look at protein. This is kind of one of those slides that I dropped in to like cause a little bit of disruption, right? Because if I say, let's look at protein, then you're probably going to say, right, well, what foods do I need to eat? What I am saying to you is that no, because protein is complex and your body is efficiently made of protein. And that's what I want to kind of dive into. So this is just basically a muscle cell. And as you can see, it's very, very complex. So let's simplify the complexity. And I've written next slide, please. Now, here is the same muscle and it's built in a bicep, right? Now, simplified. This is what the bicep looks like. And when we open it up, it reveals there is an abundant amount of fibers that are made out of protein. Hopefully, the knowledge seed has been planted that protein is something we need as a necessity. We will come back to this protein soon, but first, we are going to shift. We're going to shift to what you are here for, all right? And hopefully, what you know, hopefully, I know that you know that we know what you know, but we're going to give you something else that I'm hoping that you'll get to know. When does perimenopause commonly happen? Right, so typically onset is going to be mid to late 40s, around age 45, but there's a possibility, more than likely, that there is an early onset, mid 30s, or as late as early 50s. It all depends. Duration usually lasts about 4 to 8 years before periods stop and stop completely, which is the menopause. Now, when does perimenopause commonly happen? Continue. Definition. Transition phase leading up to menopause is 12 months after last period. Symptoms are irregular periods, hot flushes, sleep changes, mood swings, weight gain, brain fog, joint aches. Now, anyone will tell you that, right? But you got to go a bit deeper, okay? And that's exactly what I've tried to do, because I just don't want you to think, right, this guy's just generic and he's just going off AI and he's like, he's just telling us stuff. So, like I said, what we've got here, you got the hot flashes. Some people don't even have that. You have night sweats, irregular or changing periods, sleep disturbances, insomnia, mood swings, irritability, anxiety, brain fog, forgetfulness, poor concentration, fatigue, and low energy. And we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going because let's talk about symptoms, right? Now we've got vaginal dryness or discomfort. You've got bladder changes like urgency, urinary tract diseases, dry eyes and vision changes, headaches, migraines, joint ache, muscle stiffness, hair thinning, skin changes, lower libido or changes in intimacy, and palpitations. So there is a ton that you women go through that we as men do not understand, right? So obviously 50% of the population, right? Men, women, I get that. Now we should understand you more, right? Now, not saying that we are the authority of knowing that, and we should not be put on any kind of pedestal, as in we, Pansanity, that we know our shit when it comes to this, right? However, my whole point is that this stuff does not get talked about, and because it doesn't get talked about, we need to focus on it, because there's no point in me giving you this presentation without any kind of understanding, right? If you go through this, what can I do so that I don't go through this, right? But it is a natural change, right? Which is unfortunate, but it is life as we see it, right? And that is just change. Change is life.
George,
Okay?
we're getting a little bit, we're getting great feedback that the presentation's excellent. It's just going a little, if you could slow down just one pace. People would one.
Really? I
Yeah,
thought you want me to speed up.
they're saying they're loving it. No, they're loving it. That's good. Just that's been the feedback.
Okay, so right, let's slow down then, right? Let me go back. All right. Has anyone got any questions? How about that? Has anyone got any questions? Do you want to? So Gary, do you want to open up the mic?
Yeah, like on the screen, there's a telephone number 0203 846 8888. You can call in. George, you're doing a great job. I'm learning things I've never learnt before. But look, carry on. It was just a bit of
All right.
feedback that we're maybe going a
Okay.
tad fast. That's
All
all.
right. There is a recording. You could rewind it.
It's just the record.
All right then. So we know more stuff, right? And we'll continue with this later. But for now, let's look at building your metabolic engine. Okay. So we're dealing with weights. All right. Now, strength is the antidote. Okay. Now, I know, right? I know that I am in no position to tell you, right? So let's say that you're going through your menstrual cycle. Let's say you're on your period and you're knackered, right? And then I'm saying to you, right, strength training is what you need. And you're saying, behave yourself. Chocolate is what I need. Right. You could say that. However, I'm just going to plant that seed one more time, right? That strength training will build you up to what's called higher metabolism, right? Now, I'm not a big fan of saying like speed up your metabolism. I'm very much about metabolic health. So that being said, I want you to understand that I am not talking about speeding up your metabolism. I am talking about improving your metabolic health, right? And what we are saying is that if you have got more lean muscle tissue, you will improve that metabolic health, okay? Which inevitably will improve your metabolism, okay? Now, it also improves something called insulin sensitivity. And this is something of one of those unknown things, all right? Well, not unknown to people like us who do research and we study papers and we're in the game. More about like, if you hear the word insulin, there's two ways that you can take this, right? Number one is diabetes type 2 or diabetes type 1, where you need insulin in order for you to live. But insulin normally is because the pancreas doesn't work and you need extra insulin to help your blood sugar regulate, right? Or you may think of it another way. Now, I know that we've got a webinar full of women, right? However, that being said, there is a bodybuilding terminology as well. It's not really terminology, it's a way of, let's say bodybuilding, right? Let's take bodybuilding, for example. And now you picture someone with big muscles, yeah? Insulin is sometimes used in order to enhance a person's physique. It's a very, very dangerous synthetic oil and drug to use. But I'm saying to you, when you hear the word insulin, then it's two things. It's diabetes and bodybuilding, right? That's kind of the way it goes. But within your body, you secrete insulin. As soon as you eat like carbohydrates, your blood sugar will spike, your pancreas will release insulin, and then it will draw the blood sugar down so that it regulates it. Okay. Now, strength training helps you with that regulation. Okay. And it also strengthens bones. So let the science speak. Studies show that resistance training improves insulin sensitivity. And I'm going to go on to what that means as well, because again, it's one of those branded words, right? Those sound bites. It reduces osteoporosis risk. Now, osteoporosis is also aligned with the menopause. So when you're going through the menopause, there is a risk of osteoporosis as well. Strength training also extends a healthy lifespan. So it not only extends your lifespan, but a healthy lifespan. So this is very, very important that I'm not just using words that are quite generic. I need to focus on what I'm doing here. And I'm trying to give you the evidence that shows you that you strength train, you will live longer, happier, healthier, fitter, and with more cognitive health. So, insulin sensitivity. It refers to how effectively your body's cells respond to insulin, which is the hormone responsible for helping glucose, open brackets, sugar, close brackets, enter the cells to be used for energy. When insulin sensitivity is high, your cells easily absorb glucose, helping to keep blood sugar in balance. If that sensitivity is low, i.e., insulin resistant, then cells ignore the insulin signals. To compensate, the pancreas pumps out more insulin, which can eventually lead to high blood sugar, which then is type 2 diabetes and other metabolic challenges, right? Hopefully that clears things up just a little bit on what insulin sensitivity is and how important it is for you as ladies that are going through the perimenopause and the menopause and who just don't know where to go, right? As in, what do I do? Do I look at food? Do I look at sleep? Do I look at like meditation retreats? Do I look at yoga? Do I look at Pilates? What do I look at? I'm saying to you that you are going to be looking at strength training and you are going to be looking at food and you're going to be looking at recovery as well. The three main pillars. And again, I say that with a little seed planted. All right. So I'm going to move on. Insulin resistance training improves, sorry, resistance training improves insulin sensitivity by increasing muscle mass, bigger glucose sink, improving muscle quality and blood flow, and boosting GLUT4 transporters to absorb glucose. So that's within like the cells. So what's happening within your body? There are loads of like words that are unknown, like GLUT4, like GLUT4. There is so like G is like this enormous word, L is this enormous word, etc., etc. So what this basically is little helpers that transport the blood around the body, the glucose around the body. This little picture is those that have diabetes type 2 and they have to spike themselves with, sorry, diabetes type 1 and to spike themselves with insulin. Because insulin, whatever study, so I'm going to go back a bit, right? Whatever study that you research with regards to insulin, you're always going to find something that is correlated with diabetes type 1, type 2, type 3. Like you've got gestational diabetes, you've got there's diabetes. Gestational is like known as diabetes type 3, but also Alzheimer's disease is now coming into the fold as being like a diabetes kind of type as well, which is something that needs a bit more research. But on my last kind of outlook, my last kind of research, I was looking at about five different types of diabetes, which are kind of a blend of type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, that kind of thing. So it's not like outright you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all listed. They're kind of a blend of each other. It's quite fascinating, the world of that. Quite fascinating. Now, moving on. Resistance training improves insulin sensitivity by insulin sensitivity, how well cells respond to insulin, letting glucose enter for energy, which is basically 2 slides ago. And then low sensitivity, which is insulin resistance, which is a higher risk of type 2 diabetes and metabolic issues, which again is kind of repeating what I said 2 slides ago. But I'm just making sure that you'll understand. Let me get that out of the way. Right, the links. So you're going to have this recording, right? And if anyone needs the links, then I can give you the links. But you can see they're all hyperlinked. So I can then easily send you them as well, right? In regards to like, right, has this guy done his research? What is he saying to me here? What is he saying to me here? It's all basically here and what I've found in like a little bit of research, not too much. Now, our special guest. So, Maria. Maria is a lady who's been with us for a while and who we are super grateful for as she shares her lived experience on how lifting weights designs her life. All right. So, Gary or anyone,
Yes, sir.
Can you let Maria in? Is that possible?
Maria is already in. She just needs to unmute herself and speak, and she'll be on the screen.
Hello, can you hear me?
Maria, hi.
Hi.
So
Hi,
I
George.
can't see you, right? Hi. Thanks for being here, right? Now,
George, maybe if you unshare your screen, we'll be able to see Maria.
is it really?
Yeah, if you unshare it, we'll be able to see Maria.
Okay.
Maria, thank you. We're so grateful for you coming on.
Right, stop share. Okay. So we see Maria, yeah?
As soon as she speaks, she'll be the main one on the thing.
Hi.
There she is. Right, Maria.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello.
Okay. So we've brought you on here, right? Because you are a lady that has been with us for a while and you have been strength training for quite a while. Okay.
Mhm.
So no one knows you here. Well, maybe they do, but I know you and I think you're quite phenomenal. And to be fair, to look at you, it's astonishing. Like I'm going to make you blush, but luckily your camera's off, right? Your physique is astonishing, right? With regards to the years that you are here on this earth. Okay, I was trying to say that as nice as I could. So you've gone through the menopause, is what I'm understanding, right?
Yeah.
Now, coming coming out the other side, osteoporosis is going to be at risk for you. So kind of like cognitive brain fog is still a thing. Getting your glucose down, like insulin resistance, all of that is a thing still. So what I'd like you to like share with us is basically your experience of lifting weights and how it affects your life, but more to do with on a positive way, because I wouldn't really have you on here as a negative way. So I'd like to give you the stage and just let us know a little bit about yourself, as
Yeah.
in like where your background is, and obviously you're out of the menopause, and you're in the menopause, sorry, and how strength training is affecting your life. So I will let you
Okay.
go.
So I was late to the menopause actually, 58, which is quite late. So I consider myself quite lucky, really. I was also, I had a DEXA scan, so I have osteopenia. And I was feeling sluggish. Well, I still have the brain fog, as you know, being my trainer, and the lack of concentration levels. But yeah, I was always very tired. I did go on HRT. It's now been 2 years. The main reason for that actually was for the osteopenia, because I have also heard that that does help with the bone health. However, since lifting weights, my body has changed enormously. I feel a lot stronger. I'm sleeping better. I have a lot more confidence. And yes, I do still suffer from the middle fat, which is always a huge gain in the menopause. However, the rest of my body has toned significantly. Yeah.
That is brilliant, Maria. Superb. Um, I just picked up on a couple of things, right? If you don't mind.
No.
So HRT, right? I know that this isn't really the place that we're going to be like exploring HRT too much, but it's very, very
Mm.
important because that is part of the
Yeah.
perimenopause journey. You, what did you do? Did you do like patches? Did you do gels? What did you do?
No, I have the gel
Yeah,
and I have the progesterone tablets,
right.
which
Okay.
work hand in hand.
Yeah, okay. And so you say you've done it 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So that's been consistent for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So is it a kind of thing now where it's like just is it supporting you? Is it maintaining you? Or is it still making differences with regards to your lifestyle?
Well, I guess you wouldn't know that until you came off it. However, the night sweat stopped straight
Right.
away.
Okay.
But I do feel that that and the weight training together
Right.
in
Okay.
combination is what's helping. Yeah.
Right. Let me ask you another question, right? Now, this helps because I know you, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you weight train with us, right, you're quite regular, as
Yeah.
in like you do 2 times a week without fail, right?
Yeah.
When you leave and you go away, for example, you still try to train, I get that. You still try and be active, I get that. But do you feel like when you are away that you're able still to like have a nice coping mechanism without weight training? Or would you say that when you do come back, you really feel it like you haven't been training? I'm just trying to get an understanding, like how important is weight training in your life that you can say 2 weeks, I'm good, I just get back on there. Or is it a case of, right, I need always to be weight training? Like, how is it for you? Because I don't want to scare anyone to think without weight training, you can't do what you need to do. So that's kind of what I'm trying to lead to here.
Right. So when I go away, which is normally 10 days maximum, I miss it a lot. I do. And if there is a gym there, I will use it. However, I can't wait to come back and restart because I do enjoy it enormously.
Right.
Um,
Awesome. Awesome. Do you feel like weaker when you come back, or is it like just the same?
I feel the same. I don't feel weaker. However, I probably feel more tired actually. So as soon as
All
I
right.
get to it,
Yeah, yeah.
that energy comes back almost straight away.
Cool.
And that's what I love about it, the energy that it gives me.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Right. So one last thing, right? And that is since this awareness, because we are now a more aware society about the perimenopause and the menopause, etc. And you've got webinars like this about men talking about menopause, which was never
Yeah.
heard of before. Are you thankful that you've got this kind of help, or is it kind of now confusing because there's so much information around, like who to believe? What's your thoughts on on the general consensus of perimenopause and menopause? Are you happy that it's out there and people know more about it, or is it kind of like there's a lot of information here? Like, how
No,
is it working for you?
no, I'm definitely happy it's out there and it should be out there. And I do actually feel that men need to be more aware actually of it
All right, wicked.
because of how we are feeling, they need to understand it. So I think a lot of women are quite aware. It's that the other halves also need to be aware. And not actually just other halves, but also employers. They need to
Yeah,
be aware. And your teammates need to be aware because it affects everybody around you, not just
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. I'm going to ask you something, right? You can answer it anyhow you want. What would you like people to be more aware of more than anything with regards to like what you're going through, what you've been through, as in the menopause? What is it that you think, I wish I wish they knew a bit more. Like you said, employers, that's really important.
Yeah.
It could be like a day that you wake up and you think, oh, you ain't going in, you know? And it's like, what would you like people to understand?
Um, I feel that they don't understand the brain fog in the concentration. Sometimes you do have to repeat it twice, and you think, hang on,
Mm.
this woman was on it. What's going on with her? You know? It's
Yeah, I feel
not
that.
it's not the woman I employed or it's not the woman that I used to work with. And yeah, they're just not understanding it. But there is this taboo, isn't there, where women don't want to discuss it. They don't want to say this is how I'm feeling
Absolutely.
today.
Absolutely. Right. Thanks. I think there's a shame around it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think I'm so I'm saying I as in like I always say like authority. It's not. I believe that the shame doesn't need to be because it's just
Mm,
something that comes with life, you know?
yeah.
And then we men should really support that, really support that. So I guess that's my take on that,
Mm,
and where I'm seeing this going. Like for me, it's really important that I understand it because I've got women in my life. I train women. My other half is women. Do you understand? So it's
yeah.
like for me, it's important, which is
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just take the shame out of all of this because it's one of those things that happen, you know.
I mean, I'm
But
quite lucky the hot flushes weren't so bad with me. However, I've heard of women that have them in the workplace and even at the gym whilst training. And you have often said to me, would you like me to open a window? And I respect that and I thank you for that because it does help. So imagine being in an office full of men and that happening to you. And it's funny because it's acceptable for somebody to be able to go out and have a 5 minute cigarette break. But why can't I have that if I'm having a hot flush?
right, gotcha. Yeah, yeah, understanding for sure. Well, Maria, thank you so much for being here. We want you to stay here, obviously, because I've got
Thank you.
more.
I hope it helped.
It did indeed. So thanks, Maria. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You could mute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reshare my screen and continue on with this. Okay. Right then. Okay. So that being said, we've still got the welcome the guest Maria. So is that okay for everyone?
You're good, George.
All right, great. So again, like with the messages as well, like if you still want to be putting messages in, please do. As in, like if you found like the little conversation with Maria helpful, if you're finding this helpful, if you've got any questions, because we're going to be leading up to like a Q&A, but it will be best to like get some questions in beforehand if possible. So that would be great. So I'm going to move on. We're going to go to the key master move. So it was very timely that we spoke with Maria because we spoke about training and the fundamentals. Now, again, just like nutrition, I can go on for hours and hours and hours, but I can't because your time is super valuable. And because of that, I'm narrowing it down to the absolute fundamental basics, right? On what key moves you should master for longevity with regards to the perimenopause and the menopause. So squat, the hinge, which is basically a deadlift, push, pull, core, carry. Quite simple, okay? And I'm going to move on with the slides, but this will get expanded as we go along. I would like you to tell me now, what is your strongest move? Is it the squat? Is it a hinge, as in like the deadlift? Is it a push? Is it a pull? Is it a core carry? Is it nothing? Is it I don't train? I don't know what these moves are. I need help. Just what is it? All right. So just put that in the chat if you don't mind. And I can't see the chat, you know. I can't see the chat. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to leave it. I can't see anything. Here we go. Hinge. Well, really? Interesting. All right. Interesting. Let's see some of that. Okay. Right. So, yeah, pencil that in, and then I move the slides. The myths that we hear, right, is lifting heavy makes you bulky, and cardio is the only way to burn fat. These are true testament myths, okay? And what I'm here to do is try and debunk them, or at least make you understand it from a different lens, okay? A lens from a fitness professional, not a salesman. So, the truth about female strength. Women don't have enough testosterone to bulk up, simple as that. Lifting builds lean muscle, strong bones, and posture. So if you're going to lift weights, you know it's going to be the benefit for lean muscle, strong bones, and posture at the very minimum. It doesn't talk about brain health and whatever. Myth busting. Women and testosterone. Now, I just said that women don't make enough testosterone. Right. So here's the thing. Women have 10 to 20 times less testosterone than men. There are androgen receptors present, but with low stimulation. Let me explain to you what androgen receptors are. So you see this lady here. You see up here, right, her shoulders. They go into what's called trapezius. Now your trapezius make up over 70% of your back. So they run down your back. So imagine this lady was turned the other way. She's got a back here, and then it goes down, goes down, goes down. And then this area here would be her lower back, right? Like down here. Now, that being said, these trapezius, upper trapezius, they hold the most androgen receptors. So I'm assuming, right, that we've all been to a gym, or we've seen people that go to gym. We've been to gym and seen people go to the gym, right? Or we've seen photos of people, especially like the young, the youth. And when they start training, especially men, they get these built up little traps here, right? They really get themselves built up, and they are the first thing that respond to weight training. Because with men, a lot of the majority of your androgen receptors are here. Hence why you could see someone building their body in like with weights, because their androgen receptors bind onto the testosterone, and that's basically how they grow. Women don't get that unless they are on synthetic steroid abuse hormones, okay? Which is something that we do know it happens. Strength training builds lean muscle, bone strength, and metabolism, not bulk. So metabolism, again, I want to separate that word, metabolism, to metabolic health, okay? So it's about how your body runs efficiently. Now, bulky physiques require extreme conditions. Before you think, I don't want to get big, they require steroids and a high calorie surplus. So let's say, for example, you are eating 2,000 calories and you want to put on weight, you've got to bring that up to 2,005, 3,000 calories per day. Where have you got enough time to fit that in? I doubt that you have. And that is on a consistent daily basis, as well as sleep 8 hours a day, as well as train a minimum of 4 to 5 times a week, as in like that is the general consensus. So before you start thinking, I don't want to lift weights because I'm going to get too bulky, it is those circumstances that are going to give you the bulk, okay? So believe that, and then feel free, feel liberated of that thought that weight training will not make you bulky, okay? So let's segue into the fuel your body segment. So like I said in the very beginning, we're going to go through segments here. And we've gone through the metabolic health, we've had Maria, and now we're going to go into fuel your body segment. And get rid of that. Burning fat. There is another way. This is where the seed starts to grow. All right. This is where your forest of of nurture comes, and that tranquil place that we developed in the beginning. Small engine, a car engine, has a low burn. A big engine has a high burn, right? It needs more fuel, right? Muscle is your engine. Bigger engine, more fuel burned. To make it even more, even have more clarity on it, burning fat, relatively speaking, is like this. So you have got a muscle, and let's just say you've got a flexed bicep. Okay, now that should be small muscle, low burn. More muscle, higher burn. So basically, your muscle is your fat burning engine. Now I'm hoping that has planted the little seed. And don't forget, I am showing you now something. So it's not controversial. What I'm just showing you now is someone with a bigger muscle. And I've just said you're not going to be bulking up. But understand, lean muscle tissue comes with its own consistent, like its own thickness, okay? Which won't make you look bulky, but it'll make you into just a beautiful sculpture of human. So let's simplify that even more. So you see this, see all of this. This is a lady who is stripped of her skin, and she still looks elegant and beautiful. And she has nothing but protein all over her body. So those muscles there, all of these muscles need fuel. Now let's simplify this even more. Muscle is a living tissue, and it needs nutrients to live. Our energy systems have an obligation to fuel us through the modalities, movement, we put our bodies through. So when we are at rest, our body's preferred source of fuel is fat. So if you had a bigger, leaner muscle, then it will be fat that is fueling that bigger, leaner muscle. Light bulb moment. If you have more muscle on your frame, you will need more fuel to run it. And the favored fuel is fat. So with more attention to building lean muscle, you will become a fat burning machine. All right. Hopefully that sits quite well. We're still fueling the body. Fuel your body, not just your workout. Fuel, food is fuel. So energy, hormones, clarity, not just clarity. What we are saying now, sorry, not just calories. What we are saying now is that calories that you eat, let's just separate a little bit from the calories in, calories out, deficit, surplus area. What we need to understand is that fuel is needed for our day-to-day runnings, and our fuel, our preferred fuel, is going to be food, right? Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Your food will give you the energy. Your food will regulate hormones. Your food will give you clarity, okay? As well as supplements. Don't get me wrong, I'm not discarding supplements, but supplements, touching base on supplements, they are what they say they are. They are supplementing the diet. They are not the diet, okay? So whenever you are looking for a better, not better way out, but more of another avenue to go down in order to lose weight or whatever, you might go into the supplement range, where realistically hold back on that just for a little bit and look at the food that you're eating. Okay. So remember I told you about the 3 pillars. Now, no fads, just facts. Prioritizing protein is going to help you. Smart carbs are going to help you, and healthy fats. Now, again, I am tongue in cheek here, because full transparency, I said that I don't want to be contradictory in any way here. However, by saying smart carbs, I'm being a bit smart, because carbohydrates, there is no real clever carbohydrate. There is high glycemic index carbohydrates, GI, you may have heard of that. And there is slow releasing, low GI, low glycemic index. So glycemia, being blood sugar, when you eat a certain food, carbohydrate, it spikes your blood, right? But there are other carbohydrates that don't spike your blood and keep you quite regulated. Foods like porridge, sweet potato, wholemeal brown rice, couscous, anything with density, yeah? That's kind of what we're looking for. There is a case for like a white potato because it's got the skin. So if you have white potato alone, then that's fleshy and that's quite fast releasing. Fruit is fast releasing as well. And that may be a bit of a contradiction, surprising to hear. Yeah, but fruit has just got a different property altogether. There is a lot of fructose in fuel, which is a different type of sugar. But bottom line, it is still sugar. So too much of your good stuff is going to cause a spike, no matter what. All right. And healthy fats. Now I'm going to move slides. and I'm just going to explain protein a little bit. And like I said, it's down to like, we know what you know, but we hope you know that we know something that could help you know more. Okay. So what is protein? It's a type of nutrient your body needs to grow, repair cells, and stay healthy. It's made up of smaller building blocks called amino acids, and you can find it in foods like meat, fish, beans, and nuts. Okay. Now that is generic. That is something that we all hopefully know. Okay. So what are amino acids? So they're tiny building blocks that come together to make proteins. Think of them like little Lego pieces, right? That your body uses for muscles, tissues, and other important things. So there are 20 type, right? And your body needs them to stay strong and healthy. Now, I developed another couple of slides, but I got rid of them because it's like, there's just too much information, to be fair. And there's a bit of a, brain, you will get brain fog. But breaking it down like this. So you've got essential amino acids and you've got non-essential amino acids. The non-essential are 11, which basically means that your body makes up them like on a daily basis. And then you've got the essential amino acids, which your body can't make, so you need to find them from food. So that food, all of them, so all of the 8 to 9 amino acids, essential, you can find them through anything animal derived or dairy. So those that are vegetarian, you're going to struggle, but you still get it. You still get it, right? Vegan, you're going to struggle, but you still get it. But bottom line is, if you have like meat on your plate, chicken, turkey, fish, that kind of thing, that has all of the essential amino acids that you need to build that protein. And don't forget, a couple of slides back, I had that lady on in a cobra pose where you saw all of the muscles. So though all those muscles, they are protein, and the filaments of those proteins are amino acids. Okay, so you need to be always fueling your body efficiently in order for you to keep that body beautiful. You are protein. So about 15 to 20% of your body weight is made out of protein. This means if someone weighs around 70 kg, 154 pounds, around 10 to 14 kg of that weight is protein. So where is the protein found in your body? And I'm kind of going over what I've already said. So that's why I'm speeding up a little bit. So my apologies. Skeletal muscles. So like your biceps, quadriceps, like your thighs, your back, etc., hold the majority of the body's protein. This is because muscles are constantly repairing and growing, requiring a large supply of protein. Hence why it's so important to have protein. Where else? Skin, bones, hairs, nails, organs, tendons, ligaments. And I've put an explanation of where to find. So skin, like collagen. Now, what I know, if you look at, or you don't have to look around very hard, but everywhere that you see now, be it hair products, toothpaste, anything cosmetic, freaking eyeliner, you're going to have a collagen ingredient component in that. And they're going to highlight it. And they're going to say, right, you need this in order for strengthening and what have you. Now, the thing is that collagen is in protein, right? As in, like you eat in your meats, it's in there. You maybe not the amount you need. And with the way that we have our food imported and the way that we have our food made nowadays is very, very fast. And because of that, there's a lot of cut corners and a lot of, pesticides and what have you need to be put into that food in order to grow faster and what have you. So yes, the nutrient quality of foods is not what it was. I would like to say around 20 years ago, right? So it's kind of lost its nutrients. Hence why the supplementation world is so massive, and how everyone is cottoned on to the fact that if they say these words, you, the consumer, will buy them because they will give you what you hope will be the ideal look, right? I'm hoping I'm making sense with that. Now, even though I've just put all this down, bottom line, right, is that all of these things here, your skin, your bones, your hairs, your nails, your organs, your tendons, your ligaments, all of them can improve through weight training. And I've already given you like a lot of science behind that. So I'm just going to leave that there as well. Okay. And I'm not saying disregard all of these products. I'm not saying that. This slide is basically telling you where protein is found. So that I am now saying to you, you've got a ton of protein in your body. Why are you not supplying your body with what it is? Does that make sense? Thank you. There's that light bulb moment again. It makes sense on a physical, mental, and cellular level to eat protein. And that is, I rest my case. So let me get rid of that. Smart carbs, really quickly. Whole grains, oats, quinoa, brown rice, which I kind of mentioned. Starchy veg. So vegetables as well. I haven't mentioned veg, which is a bit naughty, but veg is very, very important because it has fiber, and fiber helps your plumbing, and it all works really well. Sweet potato, squash, legumes, lentils, beans, chickpeas, fruit, berries, apples, pears. That could have been extensive. That could have been so extensive, right? But keeping with the berry family, that's where you're going to find the most goodness with regards to the carbohydrates that are found in fruit. Exotic fruit are better in regards to like their fructose and glucose. They're not essential. They're not a sole. They're not alone. They're not monosaturates. So if you see things in the back of labels, like you've got monosaccharides and you've got disaccharides. So mono is mono, Greek. Di is duplicate, so double. So bear that in mind. That anything that is mono is anything in excess that is mono is going to be quite bad for you. Okay, so don't go in excess of these things. Moderation is key, absolutely. Veg, green. Have I done veg twice? No, starchy veg and then veg, leafy greens. Benefits: steady energy, fiber for digestion, and they are nutrient rich. Anything nutrient rich is going to help your hormones. Anything nutrient rich is going to help your insides, which is what we want. I haven't touched upon the digestive tract because this is really a nutritional webinar. It's about the peri and the meni, right? The meno. Right. As I move on, healthy fats, where to find them? Oily fish, such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, nuts and seeds, which fall in the protein category as well. Almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, flaxseed, oils. Now I've put olive oil. I want to make that more clearer. It's extra virgin olive oil. That's kind of the one you're going to go for. Avocado oil, plant sauces, which are avocado, olives, nut butters. And the benefits are that they support your hormones and they are anti-inflammatory. So I haven't mentioned inflammatory. And there's always these words that come up that I can then go down another avenue. Inflammation is a massive issue with many people, as in like they eat foods and there's inflammation there, right? I'm going to try and not dive into that. I'm going to hold myself back a little bit, but I'm going to give you a little bit more knowledge, right? With regards to carbohydrates. So for every 1 gram of carbohydrate, regardless of simple sugars or complex, regardless, for every 1 gram, 3 grams of water come along with it to absorb into the cells, right? Now think about that. If you're eating like 50 grams worth of bread, right, then you have got 3 times that amount coming in of water, hence why you feel bloated. So what I'm trying to say to you now is that the devil is in the dosage. Okay. So I want you to be monitoring your dosage more than anything. All right. And then I know how frustrating it is when you see how much food you should be eating, whereas like you've had a bowl like that and then you're going to have a thimble like that. I get that. All right. So this is about you exploring and finding out what we call stress testing, just finding out what your ability is to absorb these nutrients and what the outcome is. But I thought I'd leave you with that because that's kind of important with regards to not many people know why carbohydrates bloat them. And yes, there could be some other internal like unrefined, not unrefined, so what's the word I'm looking for? Underlined health conditions. But more of my point is to the excess. Okay. And if you look at your day, for example, let's say you're eating 3 squares of meals a day. Let's say you're eating 3 square meals a day, and the first meal, like you're eating toast for breakfast, 2 slices of toast. Then you're having a sandwich, and then at the end of the evening, you're having jack potato. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, the carbs are building up, and those carbs are like bringing in that water. So I would kind of swap it to like porridge for the morning, for example, yeah, and have some greasy veg, you know, for your lunch. You know, I'm not saying salads. I'm against them, but what I'm saying is that be aware of your carbohydrate intake, and especially when it comes to fiber. So moving on. Again, I'm going to ask you to go into the chat And what's the hardest for you when it comes to this nutrition game that we're talking about? Is it planning ahead? Is it cravings? Is it energy dips? Or is it conflicting advice? And with that, you can put into the chat if you want, and we can see. So I'm just going to open the chat. I haven't opened this for a while. Hang about. All right, Stephanie, sorry, I'm reading. Do I need to have protein shakes? Right, so I will answer that pretty soon. How long should a session last, and how can I stay motivated? I struggle with being motivated. I'm going to answer these after. Cravings, Maria. Cravings, Stephanie, and crave. Wow, wow. Energy dips. Well done, well done. Okay, so a little fast track aid, like a little spreadsheet aid, you know. So I'll give you this. Simple wins. Okay, so we're here, right? What's the hardest for you to tackle? Right. Simple wins. Batch cook your protein, as in like make it during the week, one day during the week, couple of days during the week. Hydrate daily. That will keep your energy up. Build meals around training is another kind of hack. And trust the process. Now, trust the process is very generic because you don't have a process to trust. What I'm hoping for is that this webinar has planted a little seed, right, on what the process can look like. Okay. Now I will move on, and then I will answer your questions in a little while, right after. But this one, Maria, I found making overnight oats batches has helped. Wicked, wicked. And how can I strength train with a big injury, broken femur? You let it recover, you let it repair, but femur is leg, right? So you can strength train upper body, and then where possible, I would advise mobility stuff, mobility for that broken femur. Now, mobility, I always say, right, to any client that I've got, is we can work together, right? And I can give you moves, but let's say that I'm not available. But let's say that you don't need me. Let's say that, who are you? Do you know what I mean? I want to do things by myself. Let's say you live in a different country. I would go on YouTube. And I would put that in to YouTube. And what you'll find is like mobility moves for broken bones, mobility moves for broken femur. All right. How do I function? How do I strength train with a broken femur? And trust me, there will be some really great videos that you can come up with that will come up and they will help you out. But yes, how can I strength train? We're going to be looking at upper body because lower body is like, you know, you can only do so much, right? Now, that being said, physiotherapy is going to help you and nutrients are going to help you. But you're asking, how do I strength train? And I'm saying to you, try to go for mobility stuff and then get into the gym or be at home and do some upper body stuff as well. That's kind of essential. Hopefully that helps. So remember this slide. Now, before we go, here's a bit more info that we hoped you knew, that we knew about this thing called perimenopause. So again, we come back to the topic of why we're all here. And that is, here we go. Hormonal shifts in perimenopause and the menopause. Estrogen decline. So you have 3 types of estrogen. The main one being the estradiol. All right. Now, this is the main estrogen during reproductive years, which supports your bones, mood, and metabolism. Then you've got estrone, which becomes dominant after menopause. So you still make this after menopause, but it gets made within the fat, and it's not really enough to create, you know, your hormone balance, and also the energy levels declines and what have you. And you can see it's still active in fat tissue. Now, fat tissue, if you're very, very lean, right, then how active can it be? Now, if you are overweight, then obviously that's going to help you, but it's not going to help you that much because you're overweight and you've got other issues, right? So it's kind of like a sword there, a double-edged sword, where you're not really going to be finding any comfort. Estradiol, which has got the lowest potency, it's important during pregnancy and protective, but minimal in menopause. So again, the main one is the estradiol, right? That is, you get it like really dumped as you go through peri and the menopause, and that's where HRT comes into play. Estrogen decline, slow metabolism. Again, that word of slow metabolism. In this instance, yes, because your body is not functioning the way that it was because you've got that lower hormone going on. But it's not destiny. We can act. Now, this realistically, this particular slide, it could have been put somewhere else, but I've put it here because we've already talked about how we can act on it. And I've already mentioned about the nutrition, the fuel, yeah, you're fueling your body, the training, and also I've mentioned here and there about recovery. I haven't gone too deep into recovery for this one, but those are kind of your three main ones on how to act. Progesterone and HRT awareness, which is what we spoke about with Maria. So progesterone is another key reproductive hormone which also declines in menopause, hence why you go on it, normally with tablets. In HRT, progesterone is usually combined with estrogen for women who still have a uterus, and then protects the lining of the womb, endometrium. So endometriosis, I know, are quite common with women, and it's just ugly. It's really, really ugly because no one really knows about it. And when you go to the doctors and you get all of the checks that you need to go, endometriosis is not actually a condition. It is one of those umbrella terms that comes with different factors. All right, so that's why it's really, really difficult to understand about endometriosis. Yeah, protects the lining of the womb from overgrowth caused by estrogen. So again, this perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, it is such, I'm going to say journey, but that's really unfair. It's just an ugly experience, but it really doesn't have to be. And I don't want you thinking you're a man, you don't know. It doesn't have to be. Okay, so keep on going with this. It's available as body identical micronized progesterone, capsules or vaginal forms. Not everyone requires it, depending on your medical history and HRT type, which is going to be you going to your doctors, your GP. Lifestyle strategies, hence why this particular slide is on. Training, nutrition, stress management remain essential alongside or without HRT, which is my point all the way. So I'm just riding this horse, right? And that near enough concludes us. But, but before we go into the Q&A or for a workout, we would like to provide you with a key. And that key is the key to the unlock. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to go for it. Now, the core collective. So it's there for you if you like the idea of training with others in small groups. You want to be kept accountable. You are beyond curious how to weight train properly, and you know routine equals results. Now, getting better together holds high in your values, as it does with us, because that is our key value. These ladies here are all core collective beauties that I've just added. So what happens in the core collective? This is small group training at its most confident, productive, and finest. So this is a picture of some ladies after. You can see that it's taken their toll. And if they see it, I'll probably get murdered. Every week you will train in a group of 4 or 6 through structured workouts based on 2 group training sessions a week. You will follow each program for a minimum of 4 weeks. Your task will be to track your progress, and you can do this by documenting the weights, form, time, range, etc. So it's based upon programs that are monthly. So this month we're in September. So in the 4 weeks of September, I know there's 5, but we created 4. You're going to be doing the same workout on that specific day that you come. So for example, if you come tonight, so Tuesday night, you will get the same Tuesday night repeated next week. And we've had 3 of them previously already. So we're going into our 4th week next week. This week is the 3rd week. If you choose Thursday night, same thing. If you choose Monday morning will be repeated. Monday morning will not come back Tuesday morning. It will not come back Thursday morning. It will only be repeated Monday morning. So it's all about your timings. And more importantly, it's for me, more importantly, to give you the knowledge that no one other workout is going to be better than the other. They are all created with the same principle in mind. And that is a whole body approach in 2 separate sessions. Now, with that being said, bottom line, we're here to get better together. And there are 5 mind seeds that I would like to plant for the journey of physical and mental growth. And that being said, right, I have been mentioning seeds throughout the whole thing. Do you think I'm some sort of eager gardener? I am not. I just like the terminology because it fits, right? Nothing works unless you do the work. I can't do the work for you. No one can do the work for you apart from yourself. Routine equals results. You get into a routine, you will find results. You've got to trust the process. What gets measured gets mastered. Hence, if you are going to be starting this journey, I would say do some measurements, as in take photos, right? Take photos before and then after, as in like 6 weeks after. Do some measurements, get some self-tape. So see this here, right? See this? This is like tape where you can like self-measure. So you buy this, you go around there, and then you put it around, and it's broken. No, still. And you go around and you like put it around there, and then you would put it around your arm, for example, and then you would add that, and it's self-measuring tape. I thought I'd add this in because not a lot of people that know about this quality stuff about how am I going to measure, right? One of these, magnificent, Amazon, $2.99. Right then, when it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. That wasn't said by me, and quite frankly, I don't know how they got this, but Confucius said it. That's 530 years before BC, so before Christ. So I don't know how they got that, but apparently he said it, which makes a lot of sense even to this day. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. That's Maya Angelou, who's no longer with us. Now, what that is representing right now is this webinar. So you are now doing your best that you know. Hopefully now you know a little bit more. And then by knowing a little bit more, then hopefully you do a bit more, do a bit more better. Now, the brain tattoo, an action step that is required for this group is, as in like the core collective, leap and the net will appear. And that was by John Burroughs. There was by a couple of other people, but anyway, that was the main guy that said it. So what are we saying here? That we fear the unknown, but the more important thing is to lean into the unknown, because we have got the people on the other side of the unknown, and they know. And when they know that life can get beautiful. All right. So summary. We hope that you know that we know what you know, but helped you know a little bit more. How you can build your metabolic engine is what we've gone through. What it really means to fuel your body. Light bulb moments, hopefully we gave you a couple of them, and the key to the unlock of physical potential. Now that doesn't stop right there, because you need to know, what am I talking about here? So let's just go back. Here we go. I have yet again done that stuff again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do presenter, and then I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to go to the screen that I was on. Oh my gosh. Right, I'm going to go to the screen that I was on. Bear with me, everyone. Please close your eyes. We're going to go for the ride. Oh, you love of Christ. Right then, we're going to do this. We're going to just close your eyes. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. And this will give you a little bit of a refresh. Right, we're still going. There's a lot of slides. There's a lot of time in this. Hopefully you appreciate it. Right, we're going there. We're nearly there. We are nearly there. There's the key to the unlock. There it is. John Burroughs. And here we go. After the summary. Here is the key. The Core Collective 8-pack, consisting of 1 month's group training, 8 sessions, 2 sessions a week worth £160, right? As an add-on to the strength training, we give you the Get Hit group session every Saturday, worth 15 quid a pop. We give you 4 of those, 60 quid. So Get Hit is a high intensity, obviously, session that aligns with your strength training. So strength training is very deliberate, is very predictable. Hit training is not. It is fast paced, it is actionable. It is getting your body to move in ways that it hasn't moved for such a long time, in order for you to create and enhance that feeling of hormonal beauty. That's kind of what we're there for. You get unlimited access and usage of our 24 hours a day, 7-day a week gym, worth 45 quid for a monthly membership. Basically, the total is £265. That's how much it would cost you, right? But today the offer is for you £160 for the entire collective package. That is the 8 sessions, the Get Hit sessions, and the gym memberships. But for those of you that are on the webinar today and up to 8 p.m. tonight, the package is £140, which saves you an astonishing, you are having a laugh, saving £125 for the Core Collective package, if you want to go down that route. Now, let's just say, right, you're like, dude, I've just come back from a holiday and Christmas is coming. Jesus. Then I'm going to say to you, right, it's 1 month, right, that you're not going to find it for this price. Yeah. And if you do try it and you don't like it, then you could, obviously, there is no subscription fee, right? And also at the same time, what is your health budget? What do you budget on your health? Have you ever heard that expression before, right? As in, how much is your health worth? And I would imagine there is a lot of, well, it's you can't put a price on it. Exactly. You can't put a price on it. So that is there for you to plant that seed. I'm going to slide this one more time. One more time. And if your brain hasn't been fried to the point of exhaustion and you want to ask more questions, the stage is now yours. So it's Q&A time, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to read these questions and I'm going to go for them. And then if anyone else has got any questions, I would love them. The time is now 1:10. We have been here for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Thank you for your time. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Right then, stop the share we do. All
George,
right.
amazing. You must have put so much hard work into that. Thank you. I learned a lot as a husband, as like the whole nutritional stuff. That was really awesome. Had a
I was
lot to
expecting no
pack
one
in.
to be here.
Lot to pack in. So if you want to go through those questions, and of course, George is a very approachable person, so you can phone Pansanity straight. George, over to you. Back to you to answer all those questions.
Okay, here we go. Right, I think I've answered the majority of them anyway. Right, so we've got a few that just said that were engaging. Okay, do you not agree? What am I not agreeing on? No, no, Hinge. Yes, all right. I get what you're saying, Maria. No, no, no. Yeah, no. Your deadlifts are great, lady. They're great. No, I don't agree about that. Do I need to have protein shakes? Right. Do I need? I think that's important. Like to zoom out of that, to zoom out of the sentence, but zoom in onto the word need. You don't need it, but if you can't reach your protein quota, then yes, it is something that you should think about. And I believe that they are essential to bringing your protein up for sure. And never will I discard them. And at the same time, I need to be that balanced person where I'm saying to you, food is kind of where you want to go to. But at the same time, yes, they're going to help. You know, they're really, really going to help. So if you can't get your protein in, and then you might say to me, well, how much protein is enough? Okay, there is a simple formula, right? And one of the formulas I don't really want to give, but I need to give you it because it's like it's out there and it's from the NHS. And what they say is that you have got to consume a minimum of 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, which is ridiculously low. Now, the reason why they've said that is because of sedentary people. That's it. They've done this study where there's like they've gone around and they spoke to people that don't really move during the day, and they said, right, you need this protein just to stay alive, right? But the people on this webinar, right? I'm assuming you are active people. Some of you may train with weights, right? And that means that your activity level is quite high. So what we call a total daily energy expenditure, which is your TDEE. Finding out your TDEE is very, very important. Like Gary said, if you want me to provide you with like a simple calculator, like I could text you a simple calculator, I'm not going to do it here, that would give you the TDE calculations, then you can find out exactly what you need. I'm more than happy to do that. The second thing that I will say is better than that. No, not really better than that because that finds out what you really want. I would say you up that. So you go for ideally, you go for a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So, like we said in the example, if you're 70 kilograms, then pounds is 154, 155. So you're looking at about 155 grams of protein per day. That's at your basic minimum. That's kind of the advice that I would give if you're not eating a lot of protein. If you are training, if you are very active, I would bump that up to 1.5 grams of protein, not kilograms, because that's the consensus, the kilograms. I'm saying pounds. So you kind of double it. So every kilogram has 2.2 pounds. So 70 is 140, but 2.2 is 150, 154. Okay, so work on it like that. I'm using 70 as the example because that's kind of the generic weight that a lot of people are. Hopefully that helps in regards to like, do I need protein shakes? Well, figure it out. If you're not eating enough protein and you don't think you're getting the protein, there are other ways that you can get your protein, of course, but it's like food. If you're scared about, I don't want to eat too much meat, there are yogurts out there that have got a high abundance of protein. Like there's the Kvarg ones, if you've seen them, the Nestle ones that everyone's copying now. that you get from My Protein in Tesco's, in Sainsbury's, where they're like 20 grams of protein. Imagine that. You're getting 3 yogurts a day, right? That are not going to give you the lactose intolerance thing. Let's say you go for 3 yogurts a day. You're getting 60 grams of protein just by that yogurt. That's just by snacks. So you can up your protein just by that if you wanted to. How long should a session last, and how can I stay motivated? I struggle with being motivated. Right. So motivation is fleeting. It's inspiration that we want. Okay. Now I've just said that as in some like no logical freaking wisdom guru. No. Motivation is fleeting. You can't get motivated. You need to be inspired. So how do you become inspired? What do you want? What do you want from your journey? All right. So you go into the gym. What do you want to achieve for that? You go micro goals. So you go micro. Okay. So you don't think macro, you think micro. And in that gym is your micro opportunity. Right. What do I want to do today? Right. I've got half an hour. What do I need to do? I want to work the whole body. Okay, so you do all of the movements that I've kind of alluded to. You pick core, you pick deadlifts, you pick squats, that kind of thing. So how should you stay motivated? It's more flipping that and getting inspired. Getting inspired by what could happen is what I'm going to give you for that, which is not your generic answer. Hopefully that helps. I'm going to look a bit more lower. Emma, energy dips. Yeah, we know that. But hopefully, Emma, you are kind of getting sorted through the protein that you're having. I'm hoping. And also, so Emma comes to us as well. And yeah, sorry, that discount is not for you. All right, but we'll sort you out another way. But yeah, you come to us. So with your energy dips, I'm hoping that with the meal strategy that we've given you, that's going to help you. How can I strength train with big injury? Right, we've explained. Hopefully I've gone over that, and hopefully the answer was okay. Maria, the oats, great. How much protein should you eat when training? Like I've just said that formula there. So think about 1 gram as a minimum to the pound of body weight, or increase it like 1.2, 1.5, and then go for that. Just keep on increasing that if you can. How can someone start strength training from home? So I'm going to give you YouTube. That's kind of what I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you nothing Pansanity. We've got our own YouTube channel, but we don't do that kind of stuff. We used to do online stuff, but we don't. So I can't sell you us, and I wouldn't want you. So how can you strength train at home? Look online and just type in strength training at home, and that's how you start. And then whatever you've got at home equipment wise, then you could start that way. That being said, I've got a counter argument to that, is that your home is your palace. It's built for your recovery, your relaxation. And if you've got like a garage, or if you've got like a hut next door, or you've built something in the back, then by all means make that into your gym, right? And go for it. But when it comes to the home, like what so who said about the motivation thing, right? Michelle. Yeah, like what Michelle said about I'm going to say motivation, which is not really contradictory, but the motivation of going there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get up in my home to train. I don't see how that can work unless you are super disciplined and super inspired. Hopefully that answers the question to a little bit. So it's YouTube, but then I've given you another flip side to that. What are the best foods to eat pre-workout? Okay, so that is something that is going to sustain you energy. And I would say that your pre-workout is looking to be around a 2-hour window. If it's anywhere before 2 hours, then fruit is going to be your friend. Okay. 2 hours, practically like eggs, chicken, that kind of thing, as in your protein, and some sort of carbohydrate. You can have vegetables as well, because that kind of slows the digestive tract down. But I would eat a meal 2.5 to 3 hours. If you only have an hour, then you bang in a bit of fruit, watermelon, banana, yogurt. No, I wouldn't say that, but you can try it. Everyone's different. Stress test it. And water. A lot of people get confused with being hungry and being thirsty. So give yourself 5 minutes, have some water. Give yourself 5 minutes. If you're still hungry, have some food.
You just got one last answered question, so we just got one in there because it's 20 past.
Sorry.
Oh my God, you're on the flow. I don't want to stop you. You're amazing. So what was that question that just came in?
Your thoughts on creatine? My thoughts are massive. It is brilliant. It's a brilliant supplement for ladies going through the menopause, going through the perimenopause, the menopause. It is essential. I didn't do a slide for that because it would take me 7 slides, as in like it would be so deep. because creatine is inexpensive, it is easy, it is water soluble, it is amazing, absolutely amazing. The only thing that I'm going to tell you about creatine that I want you to bear in mind is the loading phase. Every single tub of creatine that you pick up and you turn it on its head, it's going to say loading phase. I am going to I'm going to advise that you don't do the loading phase, right? Unless you are seriously weight training, don't do the loading phase, because the loading phase is fast tracking how your muscle gets saturated with creatine. And alongside with that, saturation causes bloating. And I don't want you getting put off by creatine because it is a phenomenal product. So instead, I'm going to ask you to get creatine, have 3 to 5 grams per day, right? For 2 weeks. And at the end of 2 weeks, your muscles will be saturated and you're going to feel a world of difference. And science has come lately. Actually, it came about 2 years ago, but people are getting to know about it now, where it helps cognitively. So it helps sharpen your brain. It helps with clarity and it helps with the cognitive dissonance that we kind of all go through. It is a phenomenal product.
Now, I want to thank
Christian,
you.
Christian, Maria. We
I
need to
need to
speak about it
thank
later.
you on behalf of everyone that's tuned in. If you're watching the recording, I don't know if you enjoyed it as much as watching it live and seeing George go through his vast knowledge of what the hell's going on in that mind of his. Amazing. I highly recommend, George. It's amazing. This has all been done for free, so we're going to be sending you a feedback form. Do you want another one of these? Did you enjoy it? What were the best bits? What are the bits that can be left out? You know, George could talk for another couple of hours, so probably we'll tag in a Google review too to review George. George, I'll let you wrap it up, but wow, you were amazing. I was gripped the whole way along.
Well, my wrap up is all about really has that seed nurtured. That's kind of what it is. I hope that that seed that I planted in the beginning is now that forest of beauty that you are walking down and understanding that you have got a path that you can make your life beautiful. And also touching on what we're going to do as well is we're going to send you a link to the Core Collective. And with that link, for those people that are on the webinar, we are going to give you a discount code so that you can get it for 140. Okay, that's kind of what we're going to do today. All right, but after today, that's not going to happen. So if you're watching the recording, you need to get in contact with us so that we can help you out. Okay,
Did you
hopefully
enjoy
that.
it, George? Did you have fun? Because you must have prepped for this for a long, long time. Was it good?
No,
Did
it's off the cuff. I just did that last night.
you...
I'm joking. Yeah, this was a lot, but this is what I do. So it's kind of, I can't be too much expressing my joy here, but I'm hoping that, it's just another one of those things where what you do in private gets rewarded in public. And this is what I do in private. I just eat, sleep, and repeat all this stuff on a
George, I've
daily.
got one question for you before we wrap it up. What do champions eat for breakfast?
No.
Feedback. That we need your feedback. We want to improve on this for the next time. Please give George your
Great.
feedback. Thank you so much, George.
You're
Thank
more
you
than
everyone
welcome.
that attended. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Right, do we just come off now?
That's it. We're calling this a wrap. This is a wrap. Have a lovely
Wicked.
day, everyone.
All right, I'm out. See you later, everyone.